Guten Erev Shabbos, everybody. Ephraim Schwartz here, calling you from Carmiel, Israel. And here in my office once again. Let's see if I can put this thing down so we can just schmooze and I don't have to hold this anymore. And there we go. Okay. So, Guten Erev Shabbos. We come to this Shabbos to Parshat Vayeira. And the culmination of Vayeira is, of course, the Akedah at the end of the Parsha, the binding of Yitzchak. But there is... throughout the Parsha, we have different tests that our Avraham Avinu goes through. The Asara and the Sionos, as we're told, there are 10 trials, 10 tests that Avram goes through, starting with his Kivshan Ha'esh, possibly in almost 2 Parshias ago, being thrown into the fiery furnace, leaving his country, the challenges he had with his wife, with fertility, with Egypt, with leaving Israel, and again and again and again, Hashem is testing and trying Avraham Avinu. And... and the question is, what are we supposed to take out of these tests? What's the message to me, Ephraim Schwartz? So we had a great grandfather, ancestor who did incredible tests, and therefore I have merits because of that. Is that the message I'm supposed to take? That doesn't sound so meaningful to me. The Torah is there to teach us a lesson, not just to go ahead and give us a roots lesson in who our lineage is, so to speak, although it is that as well. But I want to find something more meaningful in that. The truth of the matter is we can ask the opposite question, which is, were they really such big tests? Whoa, what do you mean, were they really such big tests? Yeah, they are huge tests. Yes, they are huge tests. But, sacrificing your son and leaving your country and, but yes, at the same time, one can make the argument, but guess what? You know what? Hashem himself came to Avraham and told Avraham, do this. If you believe in Hashem, which I do, and certainly I hope all of you do as well, and Hashem himself, Bechvodo v'atzmo, comes and tells me to do something, it's almost I don't have any choice anymore. There is. This is Hashem, and especially you've witnessed the miracles after miracles. By the time the Akedah rolls around, he knows Hashem is real to the fullest extent, where he gave him this child yitzchak in the first place. So I can bank on Hashem. I can trust him. So how big of a challenge is it to me when Hashem actually comes and tells me that? And in fact, this question the Baal Tanya mentions was posed to 3 different students of the Maggid. I don't know which one said which. And each one of them gave a different answer. They were sitting together. They were talking about this question. And each one of them gave a different answer. The first one said the reason why we could do that today and we can respond and answer, every Jew, if it would be me, that Hashem came to me and told me to do it. He goes, yeah, but you know why you could do that? Because of Avraham Avinu did it first. Because it is a huge challenge, even if Hashem tells you, but to sacrifice your son, to jump into a furnace, to have to not throw these things away. We find people that, unfortunately underwent huge tragedies. We could talk about Elie Wiesel, the classic one. Elie Wiesel believed firmly in God. He just didn't want to have anything to do with him, until the end of his life when he changed and shifted. But, a God that I can understand, I don't want to have anything, I don't want to do with him. A God that I can't understand, that's my God. But so he says the reason why we can overcome the challenges and do things and sacrifice our children, Jews have done so for generations, because Avraham invested that in our DNA. That was his answer. And the next Rebbe says that's not a good answer. He says, because at the end of the day, it's not a challenge if Hashem comes to you. So he says, you know what the challenge is? The challenge was for Avraham when Hashem told him that that he didn't have to do when Hashem told him that he didn't have to go ahead and to sacrifice his son. No, I'm sorry. He says, I'm getting confused here. He says the challenge was that even Hashem told him you have to take your son up and you sacrifice your son, this and that, but Hashem didn't tell him when. And the fact that Avraham Avinu got up, Vayash came out from Baboker, he got up early in the morning. He didn't hesitate. He didn't waste a second. He didn't say, maybe God will change his mind. Let him sleep on this a little bit. Let me stall. Let me delay. Let me see how long. He jumped to it. Every single test. He jumped to it the second he heard it. No questions asked, this and that. That was the way. The way that he went about it was his response. And the third Rebbe said that's not also not, because if Hashem tells you, you get up early in the morning, get up early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You know, Hashem tells you, you jump to do whatever Hashem tells you. Hashem himself is telling you to do it. His response was, right, that when Hashem told him not to do it, the Malach told him not to do it, he said, Avraham Avinu felt no happiness or joy more than when Hashem told him to do it. Meaning, this is the will of Hashem. This is the will of Hashem. Hashem don't want to kill. Isn't that? It didn't feel like relief. That sense didn't come over. In fact, we see that. That's almost the essence of the Parsha. It's like, what can I do instead? I have to do something else. I have this enthusiasm now, but it was no relief. Oh, thank God. God fell off of that one. He gave me a break. That wasn't it. That was his response. So each one takes their different approach. And again, those are hard lessons for me to go ahead and take. That, okay, Hashem tells me, but Hashem's not telling me anything. I don't see Hashem. I don't hear Hashem. He's not speaking to me. We know the Torah this now, but how do I grow from that? And there's an incredible Shlach Kodesh. But before I tell you the Shlach Kodesh, I'll tell you two stories that really go ahead and hit it on the nail. I heard it from Rabbi Melech Biederman. Incredible stories. So the first story was about this Mossad agent. I don't know if you guys heard, I think the other day there were some Israeli Mossad agents that were captured in Turkey. I think today they confessed or something like that they were spies for Israel in Turkey and they were arrested. But there was this guy that was at work for the Mossad. And they sent him on a mission, and they told him, we need you to go to this and this spot to meet this and this person over there. Wait there till the person comes. And he goes to the spot. He's waiting there for the person to come. And all of a sudden, a car of Arabs pull over. They grab him. They jump him. They put something under his head, tie him up, and they take him away. They take him down to some basement somewhere in some type of village somewhere. He doesn't even know where he is. He finds himself tied up. And they start to try to get information out of him. And they're hitting him, and they're beating him, and they're torturing him. You tell us what the secrets are. Tell us where they are. Tell them where they keep the bombs. Tell us where they can miss. So we don't know. And he's not saying a word. He's holding strong. This and that. Finally, they say, you know what? Enough is enough. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take this knife. We're going to rip off your head. We're going to pull out your brain. And we're going to go ahead and bit by bit, chopping at your brain till you're going to go ahead and tell us it. Otherwise, you're worthless to us anyways. And he doesn't know what to say. He says, you know, I'm going to die. I can't, you know, this is it. And they're sharpening the knife. And he says, okay, you know, he's you know, and while I'm going to confess, I'm going to tell everything. And as he's thinking these thoughts, all of a sudden he hears them. They were in the other room and the door was open again. And he hears all of a sudden one of them say something to the other in Hebrew. And the other one's responding in Hebrew. And all of a sudden it clicks. He goes, you know what? These are not Arab terrorists. You know what these are? These are my bosses. And they're sending them here to test me, to torture me, to see if I'm going to crack under pressure, under interrogation. This is all a bluff. This is all a test. This is to see if I'm worthy of that promotion that I deserve, if I can really get elevated to it, higher security secrets and stuff like that. They come back in the room. He goes, I'm not telling you a word. Chop my head off. Do whatever you want. I'm not doing it. It was no problem for him. Why? Because he knew that all of this was just a test, right? In a similar story, right? This person comes to the Chozeh of Lublin and he tells him, you know, Reb, I have a problem with anger. I have a problem with kas. I have, major temper. I just blow off at anything. I don't know how to work on it. It bothers me a lot. I know I'm not successful in this and that. And the Rebbe tells him, okay, you know what? I'm going to talk to you about this, but I have an important meeting. I want you to wait outside. He waits outside over there in the waiting room. And the next person that comes in, the Gabbai comes in and he's talking to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe leaves the window open between the two rooms. And the Rebbe says to the Gabbai in a voice that can be heard in the next room, he said, I want you to go outside. You see that guy over there? I want you to go over there and drive him crazy. I want you to pour some tea on him and this and that. And, you know, I want to see if you can get him angry. And the guy in the next room heard the Rebbe telling him this. And so the guy comes in there, and all of a sudden he walks over and he fills up a cup of tea, and by mistake he pretends like he trips and he spills it all over the guy. He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it was by mistake." And this guy says, "No problem. It's really fine. It's good. It's everything is from Hashem. It's no problem." All right, the guy says, "Okay, fine." Then he goes a little bit further, and then the next thing he does, he goes ahead and he bangs into him and he knocks his head. And again, I'm so sorry. I'm so clumsy today. I don't know what's happening. It's all from Hashem. It's all, you know, it's not you. Don't worry about it. And the guy's keeping his cool because, you know, he knows this is a game, right? And it happens a third time and nothing. Finally, he goes back into the Rebbe, and the Rebbe calls him in. He says, "Rebbe, do you think what?" He goes, "I don't see you have any problem with anger. I mean, this guy bumped into you and he jumped into you, this and that, whatever, and nothing." He goes, "Rebbe, He goes, the reason why that didn't bother me is because, I hate to tell the Rebbe this, but you left the window open, and I heard the Rebbe telling him, what Pling was. He goes, so what? He goes, what do you mean, so what? So I knew that this was a test from the Rebbe, He goes, everything is a test. It's all coming from Hashem. It was coming from me. It was all coming from Hashem. Right? Meaning we have to know in life, the message is, as soon as we know in our mind that whatever challenge that comes to us, it's really from Hashem. It's all from Hashem. Hashem may not be speaking to us and say, take your son and sacrifice your son. Hashem may just pick up, go from this country to that country. But it is Hashem. Because we know, we all believe, ain't od milvado. There's nothing else besides Hashem. So the guy that smashed into me, the person that cut me off in the supermarket, the problems that I have with my parnasa, the challenges that I might have with my health, it's all a test. It's all coming from Hashem. How awesome is that? When we think about that, the window is open right now. Right? When we hear it speaking to us in Hebrew, we can pass with flying colors. The message that we should learn from the 10 tests of Avraham, the Shlach Kaddish says, is to be able to realize that in every situation that happens to us, we all, the Chazal tell us, our Rebbes tell us that every person themselves has to go through various nisyonos, various tests. And the main challenge is not passing the test. The main challenge is knowing that it came from Hashem. Being able to see beyond the person in front of us who might look like a terrorist, who might look like a clumsy guy, who might look like a pain in the neck, and to realize it's all from Hashem. If we do that, then we'll pass those nisyonos, we'll pass those tests of Hashem as well. I want to wish you all a fantastic Shabbos, a great week. It's Shabbos Olami. The entire Klal Yisrael all over the world, thousands of people who have never celebrated Shabbos are going to be connecting to Shabbos this week. It's a Shabbos that we can all feel that Ein Od Milvado, that we have nothing else besides Hashem in our world, and we can bask in that knowledge that the window is open. Shabbos is that open window that lets us know that everything is coming from Him. We should feel that and take it through the entire week. Have a great Shabbos. Subscribe to my weekly email. Subscribe to my WhatsApp group. Shoot me an email, rabbischwartz@yahoo.com. Shabbat Shalom.